Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Sunday afternoon. Before we get into the video, let's make sure that you get your Hun Tiers merchandise before the start of the season. That is a week to go before the start of the season, so you can get your Hun Tiers t-shirt with Brendan drinking a nice pint of Hun Tiers, and you can also get your away day t-shirts. Yes, your away day t-shirts with Brendan Rodgers and a bag of cans, because that's what happens on away days, doesn't it? It's you get your bag of cans and it's away day trips. So make sure that you get your away day t-shirts and your Hun Tiers t-shirts from hoochmerch.co.uk. The link will be in the description of this video. Now to the transfer speculation and transfer talk, and let's find out exactly where we are before the beginning of the working week, which is tomorrow. Obviously, we all know the fact that Celtic have had these offers, these low offers for Matt O'Riley, but Matt O'Riley doesn't really want to leave the club. We all know that. We all know that Matt isn't champing at the bit to get out the door. It is Celtic's understanding that if Matt O'Riley does leave Celtic, he knows that he wants to go to a Champions League club. He doesn't want to go to Portsmouth. He doesn't want to go to Plymouth. He doesn't want to go to Leeds. He doesn't want to go to Leicester. He wants to go to a Champions League club. So Celtic will only sell him if obviously the 25 million or there around is met. I believe that Celtic will take something in the region of 22 million plus add-ons to get over the 25 million. But Matt O'Riley has set his sights on a team that are consistently in the Champions League. And that's what he wants to do. That's the level that he wants to play at. He's a very humble guy, Matt O'Riley. We've got to think back to this summer when he did go to India to see his mentor that he has in India, and his mindset mentor. So I think that although Brendan Rodgers has come out and said, he said, look, we're relaxed about the situation. If a bid does come in for the acceptable amount from the right club, I think that's one of the important things that Celtic haven't been stipulating, because Matt O'Riley isn't going to go to a club, even if they come in and pay this 25 million, if they're not in the Champions League. Matt O'Riley's going to say, no, look, I'm going to stay at Celtic then, and I want to play at the Champions League. I want to play at the highest level. With more bids expected to come in before the end of the transfer window, Matt has been getting some news down in Liverpool. Reports in recent days have credited Liverpool with an interest in signing Matt O'Riley. They're obviously not the only club in the running, but they haven't made a concrete offer as yet. Now, Sky Sports have been talking about the fact that Celtic have rejected between 15 and 18 million for Matt O'Riley thus far. Will he be sold at this window? I mean, it's looking more than likely that he will be sold. I think the possibility is now swinging the other way. If there's a swingometer for the chances of being sold, it is heading the other way. But you never know in football. You never know. Matt O'Riley, who scored 18 goals and 19 assists from midfield for Celtic, done it again last night. Yes, he did it again last night. He grabbed the bull by the horn and showed what he could do against the Chelsea superstars, the £58 million players at Chelsea. You know, the multi-million pound players that Chelsea that are on far bigger wages than the majority, well, all of the Celtic. I don't think that there's one player that's probably paid less than a Celtic player at Chelsea. But Matt O'Riley did do it. Now, Brendan Rodgers has been guarded on any transfer updates. He was asked about the whole Paulo Bernardo situation. It's my understanding that Paulo Bernardo wants the same wages that he's on at Benfica, which are 20 grand a week. And Brendan Rodgers did say, talking about it, he says he hopes to get that deal done. You would want them in as soon as possible. The current group are working very hard, we all know that. But we wanted to improve the squad over the window. He says it would have been an ideal time to get the signings in before the USA trip, because it gave us 12 days and 3 matches, and which were quite good matches, it turns out, and Celtic won all 3 and scored quite a lot of goals, which is impressive. But during August, we still have the full month of August to go. There's a long way to go in the transfer window. It isn't ideal, but it looks like the Paulo Bernardo one is coming to fruition, and it then just leaves defenders. It does leave the situation with defenders to be cleared up, because obviously Celtic have had that shock offer that came in for Stephen Welsh. Although Stephen Welsh was given a 5-year deal last year, Stephen is at the age where he needs to be playing football. Now, there's also the Mikey Johnson question. Mikey Johnson had an absolutely fantastic time at West Brom last season, and he done really well down there. But the chances I'm going back to West Brom, what are those? Mikey Johnson, Brendan says, is also at that age of 25 where you really need to be playing first team football on a weekly basis. So there's nothing decided as yet. There's a long way to go in the window, he said, and we'll see what happens. Brendan said it was all about getting the players fit, and now it's all about getting them back home. And then we'll see what happens from there, said Brendan Rodgers. It's not ideal situation to be going into just a week before the start of the window, the start of the season. But the whole Hugo Bueno thing, I think that we do need a left back in to give Greg Taylor some strength, some competition. Not only some competition, but we need to strengthen that area. Gustav Lagerbielke looks to be on his way out the club, as does Bosun Lawwell. I don't think Bosun Lawwell has done enough in the USA tour to cement a place in the matchday squad at Celtic. I just don't think that he's done enough at all. With all the hype from last season saying that Bosun Lawwell was going to come back to Celtic as this great, big, strong attacking midfield player that can dominate games, it just doesn't seem to have happened this pre-season, and it looks like Bosun Lawwell will either go out on loan or will be sold by Celtic. Now, finally, we finish off with Adam Eder. Adam has surfaced, is alleged, out of on social media, and he gave a little love heart eyes to the Celtic score last night, and people are jumping on the bandwagon saying, is this it? Is Adam coming to the club? Well, nobody knows, and I don't even think Celtic know at the moment. As it stands, Adam Eder just put a little emoji with two little love heart eyes. Oh, how cute. On the Celtic timeline. Yes, he did it on the Celtic official timeline, that it was a fantastic score, and it's probably just a little nod to the club also, that he's still thinking about them. And he's wishing, I wish I was in America with Celtic. I'd have put a few past Chelsea. I'd have loved to play in that game. That's the kind of games that you want to play in, isn't it? Never mind being at Norwich. Anyway, on that note, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday afternoon. It's an interesting one. The window is kind of just leaking into the season for Celtic, isn't it? With not a lot happening. But I'm sure this week, once Brendan Rodgers is back on Scottish soil and he's back in Celtic Park and he has Nicholson sitting across from him and he could say, right, you've had rid of me for 12 days. You've done nada. Get the finger out. What are you playing at? You've got a game next weekend. Yes, these players are fine, but we've not strengthened the team. As it stands just now, we're weaker than what we were. We sold O for 4.5 million. I mean, imagine getting 4.5 million for O. That was a fantastic piece of business. But we are currently weaker with only one striker. Yes, only one striker going into the start of the season against Kilmarnock. And let's not forget how the first game against Kilmarnock went last season when they managed to put us out of the cup. Although that isn't an issue this season, they're not going to put us out of the cup. It's going to be a tasty game. Tasty game at Celtic Park. And remember, if you are looking for your match day merch, get your away day t-shirts at hoopsmerch.co.uk and get your Huntiers one, because I think it's going to be a vast season. You can get it in green, you can get it in black, you can get it in the yellow. And I prefer the black and the green, to be honest. Yeah, definitely prefer the black and the green. Maybe that one. No, the black. Anyway, you can get your t-shirts priced £18.88 at hoopsmerch.co.uk. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.
Roll up to the party, roll up to